My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Scream. And this review will have spoilers, so there's your warning. But this is a movie that everybody loves, and rightfully so. It is an iconic movie, it is an important movie for horror cinema, and it's just a blast. I have rewatched this movie so many times, and I just love it every single time. It's a perfect film, so let's begin by talking about the cast, and Neve Campbell does a great job here. She carries the movie incredibly well, and Sidney Prescott has always been one of my favorite final girls because there's depth to her, she's flawed, but she's still strong and a badass when needed, and I thought she really stood out here. Then we've got David Arquette, and I like how he's a bit of a goof, but he can still be taken seriously when needed. I like the chemistry he has with Courtney Cox, and I love how he tells Tatum in that one scene, Mum says that when I wear this badge, you treat me like an officer of the law. It's so whiny and kind of pathetic, but I love it. So he brought plenty of personality to his character, and Courtney Cox also does a really good job. She is kind of unlikable and a bit of a bitch, but by the end, you kind of do start to like her. I do like how your view on this character changes throughout the movie. Then we've got Matthew Lillard, and he is truly terrific here. He just brings so much personality to his character, and I love how over the top he is. I think the final act, well, he's crying about how deep his stab wounds are, is just comedy gold. We then got Skeet Ulrich, who does a great job here. I like how he's the very obvious suspect, and the movie leans into that as much as possible. And maybe he's a good guy, maybe he's a scumbag, and he just walks that fine line so perfectly. Rose McGowan as Tatum, I think, is a very likable side character. She brought enough to her character. Drew Barrymore. Okay, so I did not see this movie when it came out, but the idea that they kind of cycled this movie is just brilliant. Like, apparently it was advertised as starring Drew Barrymore, and then she gets killed off in the opening like that. And I wish I got that experience with this movie, but it's still brilliant, and she is excellent despite her minimal screen time. She still leaves a giant impression. Jamie Kennedy does a really good job. He's likable, he's funny, and he plays into the meta side of things so incredibly well. And Henry Winkler as the principal, he's not in this movie too much, but he still brought enough to his character. So everybody understood what kind of movie this was and just fully delivered. But it's time to talk about the best part of this movie, and it's the opening scene. This is maybe the greatest horror opening scene. And in fact, it's one of the greatest opening scenes in movie history. It is just pitch perfect. The way this conversation escalates, this slow dread that starts building and building, the tension, it's truly terrifying because there's just this girl alone and she is just getting psychologically tormented. And yes, it scares me. But it also makes me really sad. Like when she's getting killed and stabbed and her parents come home and they see the door open and the popcorn is burning and the way the music kicks in, it's just heartbreaking. And then they pick up the phone and they can still hear her, and then they go outside and there she is. It is just a nightmare come to life. It is tragic and terrifying, and it is just as perfect as an opening you could have possibly gotten here. And I do love the writing throughout this entire movie. It's very meta, it's very self-aware, it's self-referential. I love how it references other horror movies. And in today's day and age, that's kind of been played out, but no one's done it as seamlessly as this original Scream did it. I love how when you're talking about Sydney and Billy's relationship, they're describing it as a PG-13. I love how Randy explains the rules of the horror movies. I love how the villains at the end are giving their big speech about motivations. It's just the perfect level of meta. And it just feels so fresh and so new in this movie. One of my favorite examples of this is the scene where Randy is watching Halloween and he's yelling at the TV, yelling at Laurie Strode to look behind her. But Ghostface is behind Randy. So we always watch movies being like, what are you doing? Don't do that. What are you doing? He's right behind you, obviously, and you get frustrated. But then in the same situation, we would probably act the same. So it's just a brilliantly written moment, and it's got layers to it. And I love how shortly after we see that same scene from the news cam point of view. And you kind of get the same effect, but there's a 30-second delay. It's just so well thought out. It's truly a brilliant screenplay, and the mystery is compelling because you're constantly trying to figure out who it is. And even though nowadays it's played out, the fact that there was 2 killers in this original movie was just a game changer when I first saw it. It completely caught me off guard, and it's still brilliant to this day. It really is. The movie also manages to be quite funny at times. I think the opening scene is as scary as this movie gets, but it still does have a few other effective moments, like when Sydney gets attacked by Ghostface for the first time, when Ghostface is in the school bathroom, when Tatum's getting attacked in the garage. There's still lots of tense moments, but that opening really does set the bar high. I also think this movie is truly iconic. The line, "What's your favorite scary movie?" is just seen as part of the Scream franchise. The look of the Ghostface killer, it's iconic. The voice of Ghostface is iconic. And that's really impressive because every movie, the killer is somebody different. But I don't know, everyone just kind of views Ghostface as one person, and it's just because of how well done so many other elements of this character is handled. And I also do like some of the music here and some of the soundtrack choices, especially School's Out by Alice Cooper. You've got the principal getting killed, and then the cut to School's Out, pitch perfect. So Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson really did do an incredible job with this movie. It's something fresh, it's something new, it's smart, it's tense, it's funny, it's meta in a way where it's never too much. And I think the cast does a great job. The characters stand out. This is an iconic movie, and simply put, it's one of the best horror movies ever made, and I'd go one step farther and say it's one of the best movies ever made. The opening scene is as pitch perfect as they come, so I'm giving Scream a 9 out of 10. I truly do love this movie, but have you seen Scream? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon, and Gavin out.